So, I finally made that doctor's appointment you've been telling me to make for the last 3 months.
Wait, you actually did it? What pushed you over the edge?
I couldn't ignore the weird clicking sound my knee makes anymore. It's like a percussion section down there every time I take the stairs.
Your knee has been clicking for 3 months and you just lived with it?
I Googled it. The internet said it was probably fine.
The internet also says you can fix a broken phone screen with toothpaste. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Marcus. Welcome to Almost Fluent.
Today, we're talking about doctor's appointments in American English, how to make one, what to expect when you get there, and how to actually communicate what's wrong without freezing up in front of someone in a white coat.
I think the thing that trips people up first is just making the appointment in the first place. Because in my experience, calling a doctor's office in America involves a lot of steps before you even get to talk to a human.
That's because most offices use automated phone systems now. You call and you get a recording that says something like, press 1 for appointments, press 2 for prescription refills, press 3 for billing. And then once you press 1, there's another menu.
And then you wait on hold for 15 minutes listening to the same 30 seconds of jazz on a loop.
Exactly. So what I do, and this saves so much time, is I check if the office has online scheduling. A lot of clinics now let you book through a patient portal, which means you can see what slots are available and just grab one without calling at all.
I didn't even know my doctor had that. How do you find out?
Usually there's a link on their website, or they'll mention it on the voicemail when you call, something like, for faster service, visit our patient portal at, and then a web address. It's worth checking before you sit through all that hold music.
That would have saved me about 20 minutes last week. When I finally got through, I panicked a little because the receptionist asked me a bunch of questions I wasn't ready for.
Like what?
She asked if it was a new patient visit or follow-up, and I froze because I've been to that office before, but not for this specific problem, so I didn't know which one I was.
That's a common one. A new patient visit usually means it's your first time ever at that practice. They need to get your full medical history, insurance information, all of that. A follow-up is when you're coming back about something you've already been seen for. But if you've been there before and this is a new issue, you'd usually say, I'm an existing patient, but this is for a new concern. That tells them everything they need to know.
See, that phrasing would have helped. I just said, both? And there was a long pause.
Once you've got the appointment, the next challenge is actually being in the room and explaining what's wrong. And I think this is where a lot of people, not just English learners, struggle. There's something about being in a doctor's office that makes your brain forget every word you've ever known.
I become a completely different person. In normal life, I can describe things. I can tell a story. But in that exam room, suddenly I'm saying things like, it hurts here, sometimes, kind of.
And that's not helpful for the doctor because they need specifics. So what I do is I write things down before I go. Just a few notes on my phone. When the problem started, what makes it better or worse, and any other symptoms I've noticed. That way, when the doctor asks, so what brings you in today? I have something concrete to say.
Do you actually pull out your phone and read from it?
Sometimes, yeah. Doctors don't mind. They'd rather you check your notes than forget something important. And honestly, a lot of them expect it now. People have a lot going on, and nobody remembers everything perfectly under pressure.
What kind of things should you write down? Because I feel like I'd either write too much or forget the important stuff.
I keep it simple. When did it start? Like about 2 weeks ago or since last Tuesday? What does it feel like? Sharp, dull, aching, burning? When does it happen? All the time, only in the morning, after I eat? And then anything else weird I've noticed, even if I'm not sure it's related.
That last part is interesting. How do you know what's worth mentioning?
You don't, really. That's why you mention it. I'll say something like,
I'm not sure if this is connected, but I've also been more tired than usual. And then the doctor decides if it matters. It's not your job to diagnose yourself. It's your job to give them the information.
One thing I always find awkward is when the doctor uses a word I don't understand and I just nod. Like they'll say something about inflammation or refer me to a specialist and I'll say, okay, like I totally know what that means, and then I leave and Google it in the parking lot.
That's so common. And doctors don't always realize they're using jargon because to them it's just normal vocabulary. But you're completely allowed to stop them and ask. You can say, sorry, can you explain what that means? Or, I'm not familiar with that term. No good doctor is going to be annoyed by that.
I think I worry it makes me look unintelligent.
It doesn't. It makes you look like someone who wants to understand their own health, which is exactly what you should be. And if you're still confused after they explain, you can ask them to write it down. I've done that before. Could you write that down for me so I remember? And they're always happy to.
Have you ever left an appointment and realized later you forgot to ask something important?
All the time. That's another reason I bring a list. I'll have my symptoms, but I'll also write down any questions I want to ask. Like, is this something I should worry about? Or when should I come back if it doesn't improve? Because once the appointment is over, getting answers is a lot harder. You'd have to call back, wait on hold again, maybe leave a message for the nurse.
And then wait another day for them to call you back while you're at work and can't answer your phone.
Exactly. So ask everything while you're in the room, even if you feel like you're taking up too much time. That's what the appointment is for.
What about after the appointment? Is there anything you're supposed to do that people forget?
A few things. If they prescribe something, you need to know which pharmacy it's going to. Sometimes they ask. Sometimes they just send it to wherever you used last time. So if you've switched pharmacies, mention that before you leave. And if they ordered any tests, blood work, imaging, anything like that, ask when and how you'll get the results. Some offices call you, some send a message through the patient portal, some only reach out if something's wrong.
That last one stresses me out. We'll only call if there's a problem. So then I'm just waiting, assuming no news is good news, but also slightly convinced I'm dying.
You can ask them to confirm either way. Just say, can someone let me know even if everything looks normal? Most offices will do that if you ask.
I feel like I've been doing doctor's appointments wrong my entire adult life.
You've been surviving them. Now you can actually get something out of them.
That's our episode on doctor's appointments. Thanks for spending this time with us. And hey, if you've been putting off making that appointment, maybe this is your sign.
It really comes down to preparation. Write down your symptoms, bring your questions, and don't be afraid to ask for clarification. The more you communicate, the better care you'll get. And remember, building your English doesn't have to feel like studying. Just listening to conversations like this one is already helping more than you think. So keep tuning in.
She's not wrong. We'll see you in the next episode.
See you next time on Almost Fluent.